Oh, hi there, everyone. I wanted to make a video about the anti-Trump protests. Uh, the gist of it is they keep saying this same saying over and over again. President Trump, uh, we did not elect, we reject, blah, blah, blah. I don't know exactly what it is, I don't care. I kind of tune out when I listen to it on the news. There's some protests and some mild rioting going on, which you would expect given the character of Donald Trump. But how quickly we forget Trayvon Martin, Black Lives Matter, this, that, and the other. There's always a reason for some protest or riot in the United States. And guess what? Donald Trump isn't actually the president. He's a presidential elect. He's not in the president's seat right now. You know who is? President Obama. All those riots and protests and all this racial baiting has happened under his administration. So those fucking idiots, and they are fucking idiots, all they need is an excuse every couple of months because their memory, they're like goldfish. They forget that they rioted about or protested about something else a few months earlier. You're just looking for an excuse. And those ones that are protesting, especially the white ones, they're particularly bad when they say, "Oh, we're against immigration. We want immigration." Yeah, we want our society to have an influx of immigrants, whereas the places these immigrants would be coming from would not have the open arms that you expect us to have. So there's that. I don't agree with you. I'm gonna adjust my camera angle here, so you get a better view. So what I'm getting at is everything bad, all this racial tension that's come up of late, which didn't happen under the George Bush administration. None of this race baiting happened under his administration. It just didn't. People's focus was on the Middle East, about 9/11 being an inside job. It's simplistic topics. Well, they're not simplistic topics, but they're presented in a simplistic form and repeated over and over again, and that becomes the theme that's in most people's heads. And although these subjects are complex, there's no way you can learn the ins and outs of it through regular internet access. You have to be someone of higher standing, you have to be in a certain position of responsibility within society to learn these certain things, and then you're basically zipped. You ain't gonna talk. It's because people are peons. They're basically modern day slaves to an industry or a corporation, which is their country. And they don't have the mental capacity to think outside of the box. Sure, they get reminders every now and then from the internet, particularly the Matrix memes and things like that, telling them to unplug, wake up, and all that kind of junk. But they ain't awake. And the ones that really delve into these subjects on the internet, there is no hidden message. There's nothing to be learned from studying the internet. Unless you know specifically what you're looking for. Like, you can learn tidbits of useful information. How you process that information and how it determines how you're going to think about the world and how things really are is entirely different. But watching some Facebook post saying, "Oh, the trade towers couldn't fall because of fire caused by the airplane crashing them, it was demolition," and you say that simplistic thing over and over again, and people just believe it. Mostly because they're young, they go on the internet, they're naive, they don't know any better, and basically they're stupid. They're just being told a simplistic message over and over again. And anyway, getting back to the riots, protests, kind of hard to say. The news is biased, so sometimes you'll see police, tackling somebody or throwing tear gas or whatever. Depending on the circumstances, I'm sure they have a good reason for what they're doing. People get unruly, and it doesn't take much to do it. And the Latinos, in particular, are not ones to complain about racial bigotry or anything like that. They are some of the most racist people on the planet. And for them to turn around and go, oh, we don't like Donald Trump because he wants to build a wall against Mexico. He said some things we don't like the sound of. Well, guess what? You want to all come into our country. If we go to your country, you only want to make money out of us. And not only that, it's not safe for us, really. I mean, there are some designated tourist zones in Mexico. I wouldn't go to Mexico. Not worth it. It just ain't worth it. So there's that. But they have their own communities in the United States where you go there and you're a gringo, you got a target on you, man. That's just the solid fact of the matter. And there are a lot of racist Latinos. Just as like there's a lot of racist blacks. A lot of racist Muslims. There are racist whites, but there are more whites that demonize racist whites, as I said in my previous video, than there are of any other particular race demonizing their own kind for being racist. In fact, on the totem pole, the shit pole, the white man is at the very bottom right now. For thousands of years we've been on the top, and now we're on the bottom. Donald Trump's going to change that. It's going to go back the other way around, the way it should be. Because I don't feel like putting up with crap. I mean, I don't live in the States, but I don't feel like putting up with crap. And these presidential elect, we reject. Go fuck off. I don't give a flying fuck what your opinion is. You're a fucking moron. Go back to your fucking McDonald's. Go back to your fucking Subway restaurant. Fucking morons. I ain't got no respect for them. They fucking don't know their history, don't know nothing about fuck all, and have just been told how to be politically correct, and they think that makes them better than their fellow white man, who may be a little racial bias. I mean, I'm not a bad guy. I admit it. A little bit of a white supremacist. I don't think there's anything too terribly wrong with that. There's plenty of blame to go around for the world's problems, okay, man? It's not just white man. A lot of people like to blame the white man for everything, but, it literally isn't our fault. Not everything, anyway. Some things historically have been because of a white man, but all the world's problems? No. You're a long way off if you think it's all white man problems caused by white man. So again, like I'm saying, all these riots, protests, people being unruly, cops having to use force, and all this sort of stuff. This has all happened under the Obama administration. We're still, well, I say we, but you kind of get what I mean. It's the Western Axis powers. So anyway, it's all under the Obama administration, the presidency in the United States, which I had heard rumor that Obama would move to Canada if Donald Trump won the election. So I guess that border is really just an invisible line, It may have guys with guns saying, no, you can't live here, no, you can't work here, no, you can't travel here freely, we can blacklist you whenever we want. But the truth of the matter is, it's an invisible line for some people. They can just hop right over the border and it makes no difference. It's all about red tape, mechanism of control, and this illusion of division, divide and conquer. It's all about the allocation of resources. That's why Canada and the United States are separate. I made a video about that. I recommend you watch it. It's been a while since I watched it, so I don't exactly remember what I said. I don't double check my videos. I'm always too busy making the next video to look back on my last one. Give me a break, man. I've had 30 hours of content to YouTube. Let's see you do better. Anyway, getting back to the anti-Trump protests. I forget what Donald Trump's stance is on the LGBT movement. There were protests and riots about that too. It's like every couple of months these people have goldfish memories. They just forget that they already were outraged and protested about something else. And it's always something dumbed down. Like, let's totally forget that under the Obama administration they literally killed and maimed people in Syria, Libya, and other places. So far, Trump is not the president and has not done anything of those. Not to say he won't have his own campaigns, although I think he's more of kind of like the Simpsons Ralph Wiggum president scenario. I only vaguely remember that. I saw a clip on YouTube where basically he was oblivious to what was going on, but they decided that he should be the future president, and they were kind of babying him, and really the military men behind him were the ones who were really doing the things, and Ralph Wiggum was just he was doing his thing. I saw a vague clip about it. I didn't see the episode, so get off my back, okay? I don't know. But anyway, my point being is Donald Trump is a businessman. He'll do things that economically make sense, and he's also a man. He's white, so he's going to beat his chest like a gorilla, like anybody would in his position. I most certainly would be. And he's going to do things that are white power. It may not seem like that on the surface. Well, actually it does, but we don't really know exactly what's going to go down. But don't give me this crap that any other race would be any other different if they were presidential elect. Because guess what? Obama was the exact same way. I mean, he didn't go out and strut his stuff and pound his chest like a gorilla. But, that was basically what blacks did when the first black president came about. And it's one of those things that, people just, they don't understand. They don't understand how to read through the message, read through the propaganda, read between the lines, and truly understand that you don't have to go with the flow. You can stand apart. You can think for yourself. You can be different. And that don't mean being PC. That don't mean being LGBT. That don't mean being anti-racist, anti-immigration, or immigration, or any of that stuff. It means thinking for yourself. It's something that a lot of people don't do. Or if they do it, they keep it to themselves. They stay quiet because they're cowardly. They don't want people to know what they think. I put 30 hours of content on YouTube. I don't give a damn who watches my videos. I can perfectly explain myself to anybody at any time. I haven't heard any specifics about these anti-Trump protests. There was one in Vancouver at the Trump Tower, and I got a live feed from it. And after about 30 seconds, I think I made a video about this a couple days ago. Did I? I don't remember. Look, I know I mentioned goldfish memory before, and now I'm talking about this. But the difference between how I forget things and how they forget things is completely different. Mine is more understandable. Mine's because I create the content off the top of my head, and after I'm done making a video, I upload it and I don't watch it again. But at the end of making my video, if I don't feel confident I've done a good job, then I just delete the video and it doesn't go up. So I don't have to sit through a video again, watching it again, usually anyway. Sometimes I do, just to double check, or because I may have said one word that wasn't correct to the current sentence that it was in. Anyway, this is all drifting off topic. I'm talking about a few different concepts here, and I'm sure there's some anti-Trump protesters that are in a horrible place right now, but guess what? That's not the presidential-elect's fault. That's your fault for being a protester, particularly if you've been violent, if you're a rioter, and it's under the Obama administration. Not the Trump administration. Trump's not in power yet. So you only have yourself to blame, and if it's the Trump administration you want to blame, you can't blame them because they're not in power yet. Okay, granted that Trump is going to be president, and there'll be officials that are leaning towards his direction, knowing that he's going to be president. Okay, there's that to consider, but officially, it's still the Obama administration right now. It's going to be until Obama hands those keys over. And oh boy, do I ever want to see him hand those keys over to Trump. That is going to be a historical, hilarious thing. It's going to be the funniest thing in the world. Just the cringe on Obama's face is going to be priceless. Obama's probably got to look in the mirror for like 5 days straight on the exact same face he's going to make for when he hands those keys over, because he ain't going to enjoy doing that. So anyway, I try not to be unfair. I try to think of things from a reasonable perspective. But, Fry from Futurama said it best. He was pointing the microphone at himself, and he's like, "Stop being so stupid," when he was talking to the city of New York. And then a bird flies in front of the microphone and squawks, and then, of course, the microphone goes off in his face. So, that's not entirely indifferent for me. I admit I have my shortcomings, but my shortcomings are different and more acceptable than the shortcomings of the masses. People are as dumb as a bag of sand. Really, they really are. So what more can I add to that? So anyway, I think I started getting into it but didn't talk about it, but I don't know exactly the specifics of any particular incident that's happened in these protests or riots or whatever you want to call them. It's probably somewhere in between. But there are going to be some people who are in a truly horrible situation, and they only have themselves to blame because the propaganda machine manipulated them into the sense of feeling like they're in the in crowd, that they're knowledgeable, that they know exactly what's going on and what needs to be done, and this, that, and the other, and really, they had no fucking clue, man. They were just puppets on the end of a string. A lot of people don't see it that way. They think that they really are an intellectual, that they know how to respond, that they know exactly what's going on, what's the lowdown, and how they should behave. But the truth is, we're all poked and prodded into certain directions. That's just how society works. There's always someone older and more intelligent in a particular way, and they can guide you or manipulate you into thinking what they want you to think. They may do it indirectly. They may not even consciously do it. They may just inadvertently do it due to their personality if you have to spend any time around them, particularly in the workplace environment, your social scene, your friends, your elders, whatever. It happens to everyone. You just kind of get conditioned into being the person you're going to be by your social surroundings. And a lot of these people who are anti-Trump protesters don't even know what they're protesting against. They were told what to think through various sources, even by Trump himself. You think Trump's bothered by these protests or anything like that? Hell no. He doesn't care. He's probably flattered by it. If you went, "I hate your guts, Donald Trump. You're not my president, blah, 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 blah," he'd laugh it off, man. Wouldn't even bother him at all. But these idiots think, "Oh, I'm gonna break his spirit, blah, 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 blah." He just got the biggest ego boost in the world. He's gonna be the next president. You think some chump telling him he's not my president, blah, 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 and me chanting outside his tower in Vancouver, not in the United States, not even where he is gonna bother him even one minute little bit? You're a fucking idiot. A fucking stupid idiot. And you're probably ugly too. Because that goes hand in hand. Most people who are stupid are also ugly. Yeah, I'm gonna look into these protests / riots, see exactly what goes down. Like I said, there have been riots and protests for a good long while now. A lot of them under the Obama administration. So to say Trump is responsible for these riots and protests is absurd. Absolutely absurd. Because these people just need an excuse to riot. They need an excuse to burn cop cars down and smash store windows. That's all they want. And it's a new excuse every few weeks, every few months for them to do that. They're just stupid fucking animals that are conditioned into behaving like animals. Partially due to because they're not happy with their social circumstances. They're not happy with their lifestyle. They're not happy with things like this, that, and the other. But Westerners, unfortunately, are very spoiled people. Things can be much, much more horrible, and for logical reasons, but they're not, because we're privileged in that sense. So anyway, I covered a few topics in this video. I'm going to expand upon some of the ideas I brought up in future videos. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'll talk to you guys later. I have to get up early in the morning, so I'll see ya.